2011 V6 Camaro. Some things you're going to need before you start the job are 6 quarts of oil, your oil filter, ratcheting wrench, 24mm socket, 15mm socket. It helps to have a creeper, and you're going to need an oil drain pan. The oil filter is located in this oil filter housing right here. You put the 24mm socket on the top and unscrew it, and the cartridge filter comes right out. The oil fill is right here. Start by jacking up the vehicle and placing it safely on jack stands. Now you see I placed a long piece of plywood along the main structural support of the frame, and the jack stand is also going to be resting on the main structural support of the frame. You don't want the jack stand or jack to be on a thin piece of sheet metal. You want it to be on the main frame of the unibody. The piece of plywood is to distribute the weight so it doesn't bend anything. Here's the oil pan. The oil drain is right here on the passenger side. Before we drain the oil out of the pan, we're going to change the oil filter. So we start by taking our ratchet wrench with our 24mm socket, placing it on the oil filter housing, cracking that loose, watch out for the positive battery terminal here. Make sure that it's covered up. You don't want to touch any metal. This thing's pretty hot from being driven. Helps to have gloves in this situation because it's so hot. And there's the oil filter. Be careful not to drip too much oil around. Set that aside. Here's what that looks like inside there. Take some paper towels and wipe up this area. Now remove the oil filter from the housing. Take your new oil filter. And this rubber O-ring is going to fit on this round piece here. Make sure that it's seated all the way. And take your housing and your new oil filter. Wrench that back down. Doesn't have to be super tight. Now leave the oil fill unscrewed. That way no vacuum gets created when you try to drain the oil. Now the oil pan. Take your 15mm socket. Paper towels ready because you're probably going to spill. Crack that bolt loose. Now the oil that comes out of this, if you've driven the vehicle, it's going to be really hot. You're going to want to try to do this quick. Just get your hand out of the way. Position the oil pan so it's not directly underneath the drain, or else it's going to overshoot the pan when it comes out. Try not to drop the bolt inside the oil pan, because that becomes a pain in the ass when you have to try to fish it out later. Whoa, that's hot. That oil draining out. this car. 6 quarts. The pan's getting full. This has multiple oil changes in it, but this is not all from this car. If you notice, I only lifted up one side of the vehicle here. That's because the drain plug is on the passenger side of the oil pan. I did this so the drain plug is angled downwards, and it gets that extra little bit of oil out of the pan. Whether it makes a big difference or not, who knows? It's just for peace of mind. Okay, when the oil starts to turn into little drips like this, now it's time to put the oil drain plug back in. And that's it for under the vehicle. The only thing you have to do under the vehicle for a V6 Camaro oil change is just the drain plug. The oil filter, like you saw earlier, is up on top of the engine. So now that we've already drained the oil, we got our drain plug back in. Just wipe up any drips of oil and clean up under the car, and we can lower the car back down on the ground. Now we can refill the oil. I have a funnel that I use specifically for oil, and it's already nice and clean. Remove your your oil fill cap. Place the funnel all the way in there. It's always a good idea to have some extra paper towels handy, ready in case you spill. And this whole 5-quart jug is going to go in. I use Mobil 1 synthetic in this car. You don't have to use Mobil 1. Any good name brand oil is going to be just fine. As long as it's 5W30. Take our 6th quart of oil. And that also goes in. Place the oil fill cap. We're going to start the engine, check for leaks, and reset the service indicator. Now we're going to reset the wireless gauge here. Okay, push set and clear, yes. And oil life 100%. And that's all there is to it. Performance oil on the 2011 V6 Camaro.